tutorial I'm going to show you how to crochet the cat stitch. So called because you have these elongated stitches here that make them look like their little paws, and then the elongated stitches in the next colour help to define the little ears of our cat, so his face and a little bit of his chest and paws are there. Really lovely stitch. Once you get going, it's a 3-row repeated pattern, but 2 of the rows are pretty much the same. So you have a shell row, and then you have a shell row with an elongated stitch in between. But actually it looks more complicated than it is, so please do try and give it a go. So let's have a look at the tutorial. For this tutorial I'm using DK yarn, double knit yarn, in 3 different colours. I have a 4.5mm crochet hook, so I've gone up slightly bigger than the recommended hook size, which would be a 4. You can use any weight yarn you like with a slightly bigger than recommended hook size. It's just because it's quite a tight stitch that you might want to just have a little bit of wiggle room in there for doing your stitches. I have scissors to cut off my end, needle to sew in my end, and a little stitch marker just in case I need one. So we're going to begin by making a foundation row, and we're going to start off with a slip knot. You can do this in whichever way you prefer. And our foundation chain needs to be made in multiples of 5. So yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook, that's 1. Yarn over, pull through the loop 2, 3, 4, 5. So make your foundation chain as wide as you would like your piece to be in multiples of 5, and I shall see you in a moment. So pause the video now. So I've made my foundation chain in multiples of 5. I've gone up to 25 for this sample piece. And we're going to start by making a treble. That's UK terms. In US that would be a double. I'm going to make a treble crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So we never count the one on the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to yarn over, insert into that 4th chain, yarn over and pull a loop back through. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So those 3 chains now count as a treble, and we have the treble we just made. So the start and the end of every row in this pattern will have 2 trebles, which helps keep the sides nice and straight. Then we're going to skip 4 chains. So this one has been worked into already. So we skip 1, 2, 3, 4, and in that 5th one we're going to do a little cluster shell. So we're going to do a treble, so yarn over, insert into the chain, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Then we're going to do another treble in the same chain, so yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do another 2 trebles into the same chain, so we're making a little shell. So yarn over into the same chain, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and then yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. And there we have our first shell. And we're going to repeat that, so we're going to skip 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the 5th one we're going to do this little shell stitch. So it's 2 trebles, or 2 doubles in US, so that's 1, 2, chain 1, and 2 more in the same chain, 2 more trebles, that's 1 and 2. So continue this way down the row till you get to your last 6 stitches, and I shall show you what to do at the end of the row. So pause the video now. So I've come to my last 6 chains. We're going to skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like I said at the beginning, we start each row with 2 trebles and we end each row with 2 trebles. So we're going to put a treble into each of the last 2 chains. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and then we do our last treble in the very last chain. And there you have row 1 complete. Row 2, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn our work. That chain 3 counts as a treble. So therefore we're not going to work into that very first space, we're going to work into the next one with a treble, so on top of the 2 trebles that we've got underneath. And we're then going to do that little shell cluster that we did before. We're going to do it between those 2 trebles in that chain space. So it's into the chain space with a treble and another treble, chain 1, and then 2 more trebles in the same chain space. That's 1, that's 2, skip all the way over the stitches here to the next treble cluster, and we're going to do our shell cluster in there. So 2 trebles into that chain space, chain 1, and 2 trebles into the same chain space, completing our cluster. So continue this way all the way down the row till you get to your last 2 stitches, and I shall show you what to do at the end of the row. So I finished my last treble cluster. We're going to skip over this space here to our last 2 stitches. So 1 is a treble and 1 is the 3 chain. So we're going to do a treble into the treble, and then we're going to do a treble into the top of the 3 chain, but I'm going to be changing to my new colour. So I'm going to yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through. I've got 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, drop my working yarn, pick up colour B and pull through, and then you can just pull on the colour A just to tighten it up. So there you have row 2. For row 3 then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn our work. That chain 3 counts as a treble, so we need to put our second treble into the next stitch. So we're going to do an extended cluster here. So we're working into this space here, 2 rows below, so not the one immediately below, but 2 rows below. So it's a treble 2 together. So we yarn over into this space here, yarn over and pull up, and make sure you pull up that loop nice and high so you're not bunching up the stitches from the row below. Yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and insert into the stitch again, or into the chain space, sorry, yarn over and pull up a loop, again a nice long loop, yarn over, pull through 2, you should have 3 loops left on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 of those loops. So that's our first cat's paw. We're then going to do a shell stitch into the chain space created by the previous rose shell stitch. So we're going in with 2 trebles into that chain space, 1 and 2. We're going to chain 1 and 2 more trebles into the same chain space. That's 1 and 2. We're now going to do a repeat of this stitch here, this elongated treble 2 together. So we yarn over into that chain space 2 rows below, yarn over and pull up a loop and extend that loop up, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, leaving 2 on the hook. Yarn over, insert into that chain space, yarn over, pull through, pull up that extended loop, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. You should have 3 on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. Then we're going to work our shell stitch into the chain space of the shell stitch on the previous row. So 2 double crochets, 2 trebles, doubles in US, chain 1 and 2 trebles. And we're going to continue that way all the way down the row until we get to our last 2 stitches, and I shall see you at the end of the row. So pause the video now. So I've just done my last pause stitch, my last extended stitch, and I have a treble and the 3 chain left, and we're going to put a treble in the top of the treble. And a treble in the top of the 3 chain. We're not changing colour this time, so we can just go ahead and do our normal treble. And that's row 3 complete. Row 4, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn our work, and this is a shell row, so we've worked our treble, our 3 chain, counts as a treble, so we need to work our treble into the next stitch. And then we're going to skip all the way across to the chain space between our shell stitch and work a shell stitch. So that's 2 trebles, 1, 2, chain 1, 2 trebles, 1 and 2, skip over to the next shell stitch, 2 trebles, 1, 2, chain 1, 2 trebles, and skip to the next shell stitch and do your 2 trebles, chain 1, 2 trebles. So continue this way until you get to your last few stitches, and I shall meet you at the end of the row. So pause the video now. So I come to the end of my row and need to finish off my row with 2 trebles, so working into the top of this treble here, I'm going to work a treble, and I'm going to work a treble into the top of the 3 chain, not changing colours, so I can just complete that stitch. So we have his paws. Now the next row is going to help us to make the ears. Now row 5 is actually a repeat of row 4. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn our work, work a treble into the next stitch. Remember that 3 chain count, so you don't work into that first space, and then we start working our cluster of trebles, 2 trebles and a chain 1 into the chain space of the previous row. We're going to work that way all the way down the row, so do your little shell cluster in here, then in here, and all the way down your row. So pause the video now whilst you complete row 5 with your shell cluster. Remember, it's the same as row 4, so it's 2 trebles, chain 1, 2 trebles. So pause the video now. So I come to my last 2 trebles. I'm going to do a treble in the first one and a treble at the top of the 3 chain, but I am going to change to my new colour. So this is colour C at the end of this treble. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2, drop the working yarn, pick up yarn C and pull yarn C through. Tighten up as you need to. So row 6 is a repeat of row 3. Row 7 is a repeat of row 4. Row 8 is a repeat of row 5. So essentially we're just repeating rows 3, 4 and 5 throughout the piece. So row 3 is chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn our work. That chain 3 counts, so we don't work in this stitch. We're going to work our treble in the next stitch, and then we're going to work our paw stitch, if you like, the extended 2 trebles together. So yarn over, not in the first one, in the second one, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up that loop. Make sure it's extended, not pulling your work, yarn over through 2 and stop your stitch there. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, pull up your extended loop, yarn over through 2, then yarn over and pull through all 3. Then we do our cluster stitch, shell stitch into that chain space, so 2 trebles into that chain space, chain 1, 2 trebles into the chain space. Then we're going to do our extended treble 2 together, so yarn over into 2 rows below, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2, then yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 stitches. And what you'll find now is that we're creating the paws, the cat paws, for the next cat. This also creates the ears for the cat that we currently have. So let's go to the next shell and do our shell cluster of 2 trebles, chain 1 and 2 trebles. So continue all the way down the row with your extended treble 2 together and your shell cluster into the shell stitch, and I shall see you at the end of the row. So pause the video now. So come to the end of my row, I'm going to finish my row with my 2 trebles. And then I go back and do row 4. So I'm going to do row 4 in green, row 5 in green, then I'm going to pick up my yarn A and carry that up and start again with a row 3 in colour A. So this was a row 3, so we do 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5 all the way through, and each 3, 4, 5 is going to be a different colour block throughout your piece. So after 3 rows, change colour, and they should all be on the right side because you go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and they're all there for you. So I'm going to work up a few more rows for you to see how it looks, and I shall see you in a moment. So I've just worked up a few more rows for you to see how it looks. It really is a very cute looking stitch. You can see the little ears there, this little paws, just really quite cute. Obviously it's different on the back, although you can still work out that it is a cat on the reverse side. Just a really lovely and fairly easy stitch once you get your head around the repeating rows. So you get as far as row 5 and then you just repeat rows 3, 4 and 5 all the way through, and rows 4 and 5 are a repeat of each other. So yes, not too complicated to stitch, you just got to remember which row you're on. I think it looks nice in the 3 colours. I think equally it would look nice in 2 colours, so if you were to just change every 3 rows and keep swapping back to, say if I did the purple and the grey, then that would look just as nice as in the 3 colours. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial today. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help YouTube to show it to other crocheters. If you've enjoyed seeing my little grey cat stitch marker today, he's available in my Shopify shop and also on my Etsy shop, and I shall pop a link in the description below to both of the shops there for you. There's lots of other stitch markers and other haberdashery items in my shop, so please take a look and help to support this channel further by making your purchases from Conquer Crochet. I shall pop 2 more videos on the side of the screen to help you on your crochet journey, and I shall see you over there. Thank you so much for joining me on this one, and happy hooking!